So this is basically all experimental, but it's they're really very helpful tasks, from a basic calculator to um, temperature converter with unit validation, student grade analyzer. Some of them are very basic stuff, just to kind of reinforce the knowledge that we already have from the previous classes. So I hope this makes things a little less boring. And then today you can actually follow the instructions on this page. It's mostly just static stuff. I'm not even sure this submission button works here. Um, but the most important information is about the tasks themselves. It lets you know exactly how to perform them, what to do. I mean, you can literally copy what is here and put in ChatGPT and you have the code, but that's not what you want to do. Because the whole idea is that you can actually like develop your your own thinking to kind of understand how programming works in reality by working on some of these tasks. Um, and then we'll just see how it goes. Definitely after today, I want to get some feedback around whether this is helpful or not, and we can definitely iterate to kind of improve it or scrap it, whichever one. But yeah, this is an experimental stuff that we can do, so that today um, we can take that time to kind of reinforce some of the knowledge that we already have. I think the very basic. Someone is in the lobby. All right, guys, just help me admit anybody in the lobby. So these are just like very basic stuff, but it will help you reinforce a lot of the basic stuff that we already learned. Variables, you know, taking input from user and printing out to the console, basic math operations, and it even tests your error handling. But you probably have all the information you need to do it anyway from this page. You already know that you need to write. It tells you that you need to prompt a user for two numbers and an operation. So that's an input, and then you can perform the calculation. And that's where you start thinking. Uh, Based on what you've learned, how can you perform a basic math operation? And then what if they put in the division, there is a problem of dividing numbers by zero, which typically throws up an error. So this is where error handling comes in. You're able to, if you are able to handle the division error, making sure that whenever someone tries to divide by zero, your they don't blow up your code. Instead, your code is able to catch that and just let them know that, hey, yeah, that doesn't work, right? And validating the inputs to make sure that the users are typing in numbers, because I mean, you can only perform arithmetic operations on numbers, but that doesn't mean that your user cannot type in whatever they want, right? So you want to make sure that you cover that scenario ahead, so that if a user types in something else that is not a number, the user gets some uh, fancy message, letting them know that that's not allowed, instead of blowing up your code, right? So that's error handling there. And then you gotta allow the user to, do addition if they want, or do this if they want, or do multiple, do them all at the same time, but you can just keep it simple, just focusing on these basic um, arithmetic operations. So this is a pretty slick task for those who have been following, our lessons so far. This will really allow you to use a lot of the concept that we've learned. And if you're feeling super ambitious, you can definitely explore. It gets more complex when you go down. I think this one allows you to test much more than variables. You got to allows you to test functions, conditional statements, but it has all the details. If you follow this, you're gonna be able to, it shows you um, some different inputs that you could that you should test for, that you should use to test your code. Um, the expected output, so that you know exactly if your code is working properly or not. I hope that if it was fun, then we can probably make uh the submission button to make sure it works, and actually like be able to um record your attempts and stuff like that. But right now it just released static stuff, but I think it remembers my my account. Okay, so you might actually be able to make an account. That's awesome. And yeah, so that's what we are doing today. I'm putting the link in the chat. I think it's already posted in the WhatsApp group, but feel free to go and experiment with this. Any questions? Do we have any questions whatsoever? All right. All right, guys. I'll probably communicate with you guys in the chat while you work on this, to kind of see how it's going, I guess. Um yeah, that's all we have today. Let's experiment with this, and just see how it goes. Thanks you guys for showing up today, even though it was a very short notice, but thanks as always, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Yeah, George, I see you, buddy.